Welcome back to Call for Help. Those of you who watch the show, I think, are probably pretty clear that running a program on your computer that you downloaded from evilhacker.com is not such a good idea. I think some of you are also aware that those ActiveX programs that you run in Internet Explorer can potentially be dangerous as well. But how many of us go to Flash sites and blithely run animation or graphics or video and go, what could be wrong with that? Well, it turns out that as ubiquitous as Flash is, it actually can be dangerous. It's a security risk. That's why Steve Gibson's here. He is our security expert, and he found out that Flash can provide a backdoor into your system. Now, I'm scared again. Why do you do this?
Well, it turns out that Flash is becoming increasingly popular.
It's everywhere.
And there are Flash cookies which can be used in the same way that browser cookies can be used.
Really?
The Flash agent on your computer will allow, unless you change any configuration, will allow, typically by default, 100K of storage on your hard drive to be used by individual websites you visit without your knowledge or permission.
In general, that's probably intended to be cache for media content and stuff, right? Like some music or video files.
And it turns out it adds up.
Oh, yeah.
And there are also privacy concerns that Flash brings because it's able to store essentially Flash cookies on your system.
Well, it could store anything. So it could store personal information that the site knows about you. It could be persistent information.
And there are companies that are responding to the fact that end users are becoming cookie aware and are deleting their cookies.
Right.
There are services that will now reinstall cookies you have deleted, leveraging this technology in Flash.
Because we've got access to the Flash.
It's sort of like a super cookie.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. So we'll just keep that cookie around. Now, Flash can't otherwise write to your hard drive or modify files on your hard drive, right?
No, it really can.
I thought it was sandboxed.
It turns out that Flash is a scripting language, and that the scripting language can talk to the web server and has access to your hard drive. There's a little known set of pages on the Macromedia site called the Flash Settings Manager. If anyone just puts Flash Settings Manager into Google, the first link that comes up is a link to to these pages. And in fact, if you look right now at the screen, I did that. I clicked on Macromedia's Flash Setting Manager, and these
are settings for your Flash on your computer.
On your computer,
because it's running it's basically running Flash.
It's running Flash, and there are, for example, this first page says Global Privacy Settings and Always Deny, Always Ask.
Oh my God!
And I mean, yeah, this is important stuff that is being shown on their site.
So what do we want to set?
The second tab is hello. The second tab.
It's Flash, so it
says
takes a while.
Storage Settings Panel. Get this. Specify the amount of disk space that websites you haven't yet visited can use to store information on your computer.
How would they do that?
And well, like I'm saying, these are important things, and nobody knows about this.
Wait a minute.
And I
haven't visited the site. How is it going to store stuff?
And it's defaulted to 100K. So you're saying websites you have not yet visited can store 100K on your computer.
How would they do that? Oh, that would be some other site. If I went to coffeecan.com.
Well, Flash ads now. Those are third-party web servers.
So you haven't visited that server.
And so the same problem that exists with third-party cookies that allow you to be tracked over the net, now if you go to sites that are serving Flash ads, those servers you're not visiting can be storing data on your computer for their own tracking purposes, meaning that you go to some other site later, you deleted all your browser cookies, you still have Flash cookies.
Now, of course, as I mentioned, I'm sure the original intention was this to be caching some content, like the banner ad. But it could be used for anything.
The third-party problem is what's happened. Now, these settings that people can get to by again, going to Flash Settings Manager.
So are these your actual settings, or is this a
default? I just installed it. So default.
So how would you change that? We just click the button?
You're able to change the slider. I can slide it down to none.
Oh, okay.
And then I can say never ask again. That just locks it down so that no third-party sites are able to store content on my hard drive.
Do you know of any examples where people have started doing this?
There are commercial services that are using this technology behind users' backs to reinstall third-party cookies that have been deleted, and for tracking. This is the next tracking problem.
This drives me crazy. Nobody knows about this. How did you find out about it?
Well, that's my job.
I am stunned, you know? I mean, we just assume that this stuff is safe. It's very important to remember this.
It isn't. It gives us little animations. We've got much more exotic advertisements, and it's working behind our back.
And by the way, this causes security issues on operating systems like Linux, where you assumed you never had any security because there's problems. This is Flash. It's on Linux.
Right?
It's on Mac, and it's on Windows.
And if you were security aware and you had bolted down your browser cookies, or you make a point of deleting them constantly, you've got another stealth cookie manager here.
So everybody should, at this point, on all of your systems, search for Flash setting. What is it?
Go to Google and put in Flash Settings Manager.
Flash Settings Manager.
The first link, and we have links to it on the show notes.
Okay, good. All right.
The entire URL.
And do you have a suggestion for how it should be set on the show notes too?
Really,
the main one is to turn
I didn't
that
specify it. Anybody who looks at this can just say, "Whoa!" I mean, I don't want websites I haven't yet visited to store anything on my computer.
Are there any other things that you might want to change?
Well, there's like 6 tabs here. You're able, for example, to specify sites that you know and like. Here's global setting managers. You've got an always ask, and always allow, always deny.
So you might want to go through this, but you know what I would love, Steve, at some point is if you could write up a guide to which settings you think people should change.
Well, what I'll be doing, as you know, I'm in the process of adding a browser third-party cookie settings detector. I'm doing Flash 2.
Oh, good.
So anyone who goes to GRC, after you've visited a couple pages, if you're not secure, I'll tell you you've got the problem.
Not just with cookies, but with Flash.
With Flash 2, and I'll have pages that take you step by step through.
Excellent. grc.com. Yet another free security service that Steve offers, including Shields Up and Shoot the Messenger and Unplug and Pray and all of these great things
Decombobulator.
Decombobulator. This one's huge. I don't know if people know about this.
No one knows about it.
I've never seen any mention, even on the security bulletins. This is
cross-platform. This is Mac and Linux, and because it's Flash.
Cross-platform and cross-browser. So you may be using, I'm using Firefox or I'm using Opera. I'm not using it. It's everything. If you use Flash. I don't think you should turn off Flash because there's some cool stuff you can do with Flash.
And you don't need to. You're able to say, hey, places I don't go, I don't want them storing anything on my computer.
So which tab is that?
It's the first tab.
First tab. Slide that slider all the way to 0. That's how much space.
Again.
And then never ask again.
Or if you wanted to, you could leave it. And what will happen is, if you go to a site that needs to store data, it'll ask.
Oh, so uncheck that, never ask again.
And so it'll say,
that's a good way of finding out who's doing it.
That way it'll detect whether that's happening instead of just failing the request.
I'm stunned, frankly.
And then
I have no idea.
Later on here, there's a tab that actually where you're able to list sites. Here it'll have a list of exceptions, and so you're able to specifically say treat these sites in this way. So viewers ought to just spend some time here at Flash Settings Manager, read the pages, learn about Flash, because there's more there than people are aware of, and it's important stuff.
I'm doing it right now. I am. Spank Flash into submission for more information on disciplining your copy of Flash.
Yeah,
you do look a little like a disciplinarian today. Where's your whip? Head on over to our show notes.